Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the SmackDown review for the 27th of um, August 2021. Can't believe this show is still on network television. It's weak. It's really weak. Anyway, this is the post SummerSlam slowdown. They recap Becky Lynch returning at SummerSlam and beating Bianca Belair to win the championship. The commentators for tonight, Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Kevin Owens. Cole noted that, in fact, McCaffrey is feeling better after contracting COVID. Becky Lynch opens the show, makes a return to a massive reaction, breaks out into a loud Becky chant. She notes, "Nice to be back in Little Rock," and the fans erupted in cheers. Becky admits she, in fact, did miss the fans. Lynch talks about giving up the title 18 months ago and working every day to make her return. Fans are excited again. She turns her attention to SummerSlam, and the fans booed. Lynch admits some people think her tactics are underhanded. Lynch apologized for absolutely nothing, and the fans popped for this. Lynch didn't come across as a heel early in the segment, and the commentators don't treat her like one in the beginning. Bianca Belair interrupts to a huge reaction. Fans break into the EST chant. Belair notes that she's defended the title every night since winning the title. That's rare because, well, COVID. Anyway, Belair points out that she's accepted Lynch's last-minute challenge. She then challenged Lynch to a match tonight for the title. Zelina Vega interrupts and mocks Belair for begging for a rematch. Fans break into a chance of a negative vein. Vega demands title shot instead, and the fans booed. Carmella interrupts that and thought Lynch should defend against the most beautiful woman in WWE. She notes that she only had an hour's notice for a title shot and didn't have time to do her hair or nails. Liv Morgan, who we haven't seen in a couple of months, comes back. She comes back to a big reaction, points out that Vega and Carmella got beat week after week, and Morgan wants a championship shot too. And of course, we live in a participation trophy society, so why not give her one? Carmella mocks Morgan for sitting on, sitting in catering for the last 2 months. Sitting in catering translates to not being used. Belair has heard enough and demanded a match with Lynch tonight. Lynch said no, and tonight then she jumped out of the ring and walked off. Brawl breaks out in the ring between Belair, Vega, and Carmella and Morgan. Lynch and Belair were fine in the segment. Lynch doesn't act like a heel till the very end. I don't think turning Becky heel is going to work long term, but it is what it is. Anyway, they air commercial for the new NXT with the new logo which ends with the words "coming," and I can't remember if they put soon in there or not. Anyway, fatal four-way elimination match. Bianca Belair defeats Carmella, Vega, and Liv Morgan. 12:06. This went about at least 8 minutes too long. Match was fine. Comes down to Belair and Morgan. Match is made official during the commercial break. Why do we bother making matches if we can just make them during commercials? Anyway, Belair is in control. She hits a handspring moonsault on Vega and sends Morgan off the apron. Carmella and Vega double team Belair, and they beat Morgan up, and then they start arguing. Belair jumps in the ring, nailing Vega with a clothesline, sends Carmella out of the ring. Belair then hits the KOD on Vega for the first elimination. Morgan quickly pins Carmella, hitting the second Oblivion. During the commercial break, Carmella and Vega attacked the baby faces. Belair is firmly in control when we're back from the break, but Morgan recovers and hits a few stomps for near fall. Morgan then attempts to stomp again, but Belair avoids to hit the spine buster for close near fall. Morgan fights back and goes for the Oblivion, but Belair blocks the move. Then she lifted her into a suplex, but Morgan counters double knees for near fall. Finish comes when Belair drops Morgan on the top turnbuckle twice after hitting the KOD for the win. Cole notes that Belair's number one contender for the SmackDown Women's title. Wasn't she that when she came into this, so the match really meant nothing in the beginning anyway. In the back, Caleb Braxton approaches Paul Heyman and asks where he stands with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Heyman says he stands in the same place as always, next to his tribal chief. Heyman tries to enter Roman's locker room, but the door's locked. They recap the Usos defeating the Mysterios, Roman Reigns beating John Cena, and it include Brock Lesnar attacking John Cena post-match as well. Back from the break, Heyman still standing in front of Reigns' locker room door. The Usos walked off and notes that Reigns hasn't arrived yet. They asked Heyman if they knew Lesnar was going to show up at SummerSlam. Heyman denied knowing that Lesnar was in the building. So that kind of defeats Heyman as a effective leader if he doesn't know that one of his clients is going to show up somewhere. Anyway, Usos pointed out that Heyman sent them to the back at SummerSlam. Heyman claimed that Reigns sent them to the back, not him. Usos are skeptical of this. Cesaro defeats Chad Gable 218 with Otis via DQ. Gable and Cesaro have a waste of time match until a week finish. Why even have guys get dressed for less than 3 minutes of TV time? Anyway, Cesaro rocks Gable with a series of uppercuts to gain control. Goes in for the giant swing, but Gable slips out. Gable then takes over and slowed the pace down by working on the shoulder. Gable then hits a Northern Light suplex for near fall, follows up with a moonsault and another close near fall. Cesaro fights back and hits a runner off the top rope and a huge reaction. Cesaro then gives Gable giant swing until Otis jumps in for the disqualification. They give Cesaro a vicious-looking clothesline German suplex combination. Otis comes with a splash off the second turnbuckle. Caleb Braxton, standing outside, notes that Roman Reigns is on his way to the arena. Baron Corbin shows up and he has a new Bentley. He won big in Vegas and is doing great now. He's dressed better and finally shaved his beard and his head. And then we see Braxton calling him Happy Corbin. Camera zoomed in on the Bentley logo. They show highlights from SummerSlam and the fans popping for McCaffrey's big experience. They give decent reactions to Cena, Belair, and Lesnar. Happy Corbin celebration. Corbin and Big E are good in their roles, and the fans enjoy the segment for what it is, I guess. Anyway, so they recapped Corbin losing to Big E at SummerSlam and only having $35 in his pocket. Suddenly, Corbin's luck turned around. He wins big at the casino. Fans are happy for this. He has new clothes, a new car, and his wife is welcoming him home. He asked Big E to come to the ring. Big E gets a reaction. Fans are excited. Corbin wants to make things square with Big E and buy the Money in the Bank briefcase for $20,000. Fans booed. Big E turns him down. Corbin then upped the offer to $50,000. Big E says no. Corbin notes Big E's probably going to fail when he cashes in. Big E responded that Corbin lost when he tried cashing it in, and then offered $100,000. Big E pretended to consider the offer and turns him down again. Big E tells Corbin he could spend all that money on half-eating sandwiches, a pencil, and an Arkansas Razorbacks plush toy. Fans pop for the toy. Big E became frustrated, and Corbin threatened to knock him out. Corbin says he's not going to let anything bring him down, and he happily walks away. They recap Edge defeating Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Earlier today, Edge discussed beating Seth Rollins in Vegas last Saturday. He admits going into a dark place, but he can now focus his attention on winning the Universal title. Fans give Edge a huge pop in the process. In the back, Rollins responds, congratulating Edge with the win. He claims that Edge won his respect, and Rollins then wants a shot at the Universal Championship and thinks he might have more like Edge to win it. And then in the back, Reigns walked towards his locker room. Heyman's waiting for Reigns with his head down. Reigns asks Heyman what he's doing. Heyman tries to shake his hand. Reigns wondered if he has to open his own doors now. Heyman opens the door. Reigns enters and wondered if Heyman's going to join him. Heyman agreed, and they both go in the door. Then Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs defeat Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. I don't agree with this match, and honestly, it's a backward step for the promotion as a whole. Anyway, so we move to this match. Both teams do work hard. Match is fine, but at the same time, Boogs doesn't belong in the ring, at least in my estimation. Boogs show off strength and sends Ziggler across the ring. Heels take over, isolate Boogs in their corner. Roode catches him with a neckbreaker for a near fall. During the match, they show Apollo Crews' interview from earlier today. He promises to regain the title from Nakamura. Boogs then fights and knocks off Ziggler. Nakamura gets a hot tag, goes nuts. Catches Rude with a kick and sliding German suplex. Nakamura goes for a Kinshasa, but Rude rolls him up with near fall. Nakamura then rolls the floor, and Ziggler hits the zigzag. Back from the break, heels are in control, and they isolate Nakamura, cuts him off. Boogs eventually catches a back elbow and then throws him across the ring. Follows up with a splash in the corner, running bulldog and close near fall. Rude distracts Boogs, and Ziggler hits a super kick for near fall. Nakamura makes the save. Boogs then hits a pump handle slam on Ziggler for the win. Back in the back, Naomi approaches Sonya in her office. Naomi is excited to be back on SmackDown. DeVille claims that she didn't even know Naomi was on SmackDown now. DeVille assumed Adam Pearce made the deal behind her back. Naomi tries to discuss her accomplishments. DeVille doesn't care. And then she says she'd think about it. Rey Mysterio speaks with Dominic behind the curtain. Rey thinks it's time to let Dominic succeed on his own. He talked to Pierce earlier today and got Dominic a match, but doesn't know his opponent's identity. Sami Zayn then defeats Dominic Mysterio in 7:52. They have a fine enough match. I do think if in fact Rey is reducing his role, that's not going to look good for Dominic. On commentary, Kevin Owens mentions his friendship and feud with Zayn. Zayn backs Dominic into a corner and drags him across the top rope. Dominic fights off and catches Zayn back body drop. Zayn then kicks Dominic in the stomach to regain control. Dominic recovers, hits a springboard arm drag, follows up with a drop kick and a Rana. Dominic goes for 619, but Zayn moves and Dominic crashes to the floor. Rey Mysterio makes his way down to ringside. Back from the break, Zayn then is in control. He yells to Rey at ringside. Dominic takes advantage and uses a small package for the near fall. Zayn quickly recovers and takes over. Dominic then rocks Zayn with elbows and hits an enziguri. Follows up with 619, but Zayn avoids the frog splash. Dominic gets caught with an exploder in the corner and hits a haluva kick. Zayn hits the haluva kick for the win. Post-match, Rey tries to talk to Dominic, but he's pushed away. Dominic walks off in anger. Rey tries to talk to him. Usos couldn't wait to start the celebration. Mid-ring, Heyman is going to stay in the back because it's a family celebration. Reigns calls Heyman a wise man, and he said he's family and that he loves him. Reigns and the Usos family celebration. It feels flat in the end. Finn Balor's appearance didn't get much of a reaction. Fans were expecting Brock Lesnar and didn't get him, which is proof that WWE doesn't really care about their fans. They care about the big pop to take away from AEW, but in reality, they don't plan more than maybe a week out at most. Reigns and Usos hold up the titles. Pyro goes off. Heyman held onto Reigns' title, as he always does. Fans boo him. Reigns holds the mic, doesn't speak. Fans boo again. Reigns then hands Heyman the mic and whispered something to him. Basically, the order to acknowledge the tribal chief is put out. Heyman then praises the Uso. Heyman discusses Reigns beating Cena at SummerSlam. Finn Balor's music hits, makes his way to the ring. Balor points out that he got messed over the title of SummerSlam. He promised to deal with Cena eventually. Balor admits he's going to challenge Reigns for the title at Extreme Rules. Instead, Balor wants a shot next week. Fans are excited for this. Balor throws the mic at Reigns. Brawl breaks out. Heels overwhelm him, but the Street Profits run down. That's just sad that the Street Profits are considered to be in a main event segment. I don't see it. I've never seen it. Anyway, shows the weakness of wrestling in 2021 in some ways. Balor and the Street Profits clear the ring. Balor hits the coup de grace on Jimmy Uso. SmackDown ends with Cole wondering if Reigns is going to accept the challenge for next week. Thought the acceptance of the challenge was implied, but maybe I'm reading between the lines too much. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.